What up YouTube? My name is Mike and I go by DJ Access, and today we're going to do something a little bit different here. I don't know if it's going to work. I'm 90% sure that YouTube will take this down, but I really want to try this because if it stays up, I think it'll be really helpful for DJs. If you haven't been to the channel before, I do tutorials, we discuss DJ related topics, and I perform routines. So if you want to see more of that, do subscribe to the channel, and if you find this video helpful and interesting, always hit that like button so other DJs can find it. So this past weekend, I DJ'd the Silent Disco at Breakaway Music Festival in Columbus, Ohio. They also have other satellite branches around the country. So a big shout out to Prime Social. Thank you for having me. And today I wanted to talk about my prep for the set, as well as show you how I review my recording. So in the past, I've done videos about recording your sets. You can find that linked probably somewhere up here. And I talk about listening to your audio to, not only so you can release it on your social medias for content, but mostly because you want to know how you sound when you're performing. When you're up there and you're doing your thing, you're mixing, you're choosing the next song, you're interacting with the crowd. So it's difficult to really understand if you're making mistakes, how you sound. For instance, we just did a 5-person back-to-back set at the after party for Breakaway, and within minutes of listening to the recording, one of my DJ buddies said, "Man, I didn't realize how much I was using the space. It sounds so nice in the club environment and so subtle, but when you listen back to it on the recording, it sounds not how he thought it would," which in this case was bad. So reviewing your sets, audio's good, video's better. So what you're going to see today is me reviewing one of my own video recordings. And I'm going to do a long video where I'm literally just going to be talking to the camera. I'm going to try not to pause just because the length of the video is already going to be pretty long. And then if there's some great points, I'll chop it up and release a second video so that it's a little bit easier to digest. So here we go. I guess I'll talk a little bit about preparation for the set. I play it early, about 3:50 p.m. and I've done silent discos before, so I was not expecting a large crowd. And I really wanted to play some stuff for myself, so I decided to go the 2019 EDM route. I download a ton of EDM music, and I don't get to play a ton of it. So the only place I really get to play EDM on a regular basis is at the Columbus Crew SC games. And that has to be clean. So there's obviously EDM songs that I download that are not clean, that I don't really get to play very often. So I basically made a folder of all those songs, and then I wanted to challenge myself to mix about 40 songs in 45 minutes, and basically use what I call like the laid-back Luke style of just kind of going on the fly, freestyling, using a lot of cue points, loops to get yourself out of tricky situations, and just, make it as fun and as clean as possible, since I wasn't expecting a ton of people there. Now, what I will say is this guy right here in the middle on the red channel was killing it. He was playing some dubstep and some trap. I could just tell by the way the crowd was moving, and had some really solid sing-alongs, so he was killing it. We probably had about 30 people when we started, and maybe 100 people in the tent when we finished. And I'd say while he was playing, he probably had about 75% of the crowd. So props to him. I did not catch his name. He actually hopped off before I finished, so I couldn't say anything to him, which I'll get into a little bit later. So I realized my phrasing was off, so I tried to use my cue point to kind of make a audio loop. And then here I think I messed up by hitting the cue a few extra times. You'll notice I'm using my laptop to cue because the DJAXCESS 1000s only have 3 cue buttons, and I prepped my set to have 4 cue buttons like the DJAXCESS 2s have, and so that was on the 4th channel. So this is all really bad. I decided to get out of it, so I have my exit cue point. I hit that. One thing I noticed about silent discos is that some people use the headphones that they give you to do their mixing, and I disagree with that. I think you should use your own headphones and then give the crowd something to let you know which channel you're on. So I have my laptop cover, which I've set to blue to let people know that I was on the blue channel. Just because, some of those headphones, they're working wirelessly, so there may not be spot on with what you're doing. And I always trust my headphones more than wireless headphones. They could be going in and out, cutting in, all that stuff. So you want to make sure what you're sending is perfect, and then let them adjust the volume themselves. One thing I want to be conscious of is how often I'm looking at the laptop. It hasn't been too bad, but last few seconds I noticed I'm looking at it a lot. One of the reasons I like using flash drives, but I mean when it comes to flash drives for Serato, I'm going to pick Serato every time. Especially when I'm trying to mix 40 songs in 45 minutes. So I'm off phrase with this mix, not really sure why I started it there. Maybe it's because I'm thinking that I'm a little behind, looking out in the crowd since my mix is right. I'm happy with how these are in key, but the phrasing is way off, so I'd say it's a poor mix. Let's see if I fix it. I'm probably realizing it's a poor mix, and I think I'm going to start hitting the cue points to try and get the acapella. Yep, see, here I am. Trying to save it. So had I hit that like 4 beats sooner, I think it would have been really dope, but it wasn't terrible. So I use my little, I always have an escape cue point marked. So and it's always marked on a 1. So if I feel like I want to get out of a mix quickly, I can always hit the 1, and it goes straight into where the song goes, and then I can cut out the other song, and it should be, you know, a solid mix 90% of the time. So I was kind of done with that song, and it was a large tempo change, and still I don't have a ton of people listening to me, so I wasn't too worried about it. So I just break it out. I love using the break feature on vinyl and CDJs to just switch tempos. It's a really easy way to do it. I was mixing quickly, so I would normally let that ride a little bit. Playing some funk, so got a scratch over it. Probably could have increased the volume on my cuts. Sounds okay though. Yeah, I really wish I would have increased the volume on these cuts. And I don't want to let this breakdown play out, so I'm just gonna hit my 1 and flip. I can tell on my face I'm a little discouraged by how well he's killing it. Like, he's got a bunch of people at the front here just going ham, and there's not really much you can do about a silent disco DJ. You kind of, I won't say you hope that he plays a bad song. Little scratching here. I'm not gonna say that I hope that, like, you know, he plays a bad song or something, but, you know, when someone's killing it like that, you know, there's not much you can do but just you know, play sing-alongs so that your people who are listening to you let the other people know in the crowd that you know, you're killing it. They might flip the channel, or I try to look busy sometimes, do a little bit of scratching to be like, oh, what's he doing over there? And then maybe they flip over. So there's little things you can do at a silent disco. Singing the words can also attract people to you. You know, if you look like you're having a great time, people might check your channel out. Again, guy on the red channel having some issues here. And people switched over, I'd be in the middle of a build, so I think that's why I'm mixing quicker here. Typically my left hand's a little bit weaker on scratching, but you know, I feel comfortable using it. Really offbeat there on the drop. Fix it pretty quickly though. And right here is, I think, where I'm talking about seeing people noticing that this guy's having issues. So I want to make sure I was playing good stuff right here. And obviously this is a banger. So as people switched over, if they hear this, they know the words, sing along. I didn't want it to be a build-up, so I think I'd jump here. Let people know that you're playing a sing-along. I think there were some also people kind of showing me that some love with this track. Yeah, I should definitely be. Yeah, see, here we go. I should definitely be interacting with the crowd here, not messing with my laptop. Yep. Yep. See, this is the kind of crowd interaction I should be having, especially while this guy. I have cue points that are labeled yellow, that are labeled pre-drop in Serato, so I know that that's 4 beats before the drop and uses an acapella sample or like a drum beat, like a da 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 da, and then the drop will come in. So that's really good for slams. So I let that ride out. I was thinking about dropping into the cue point, so I end up doing it there, nice and smooth. And like I said, that's that pre-drop cue point that I'm talking about, where I know it's right before the drop, and I just hit it, and boom, we're right back into like beats of music in case you want to skip a long build-up. And got some wordplay coming up. So on the energy level, you see the other 2 DJs have a lot more energy than me, which is, I gotta work on that. Because I'm trying to mix so fast, I'm more focused. Red guy's killing it again. You see that? Those are people who are not for me. And then I try to pick my energy up to match it. Got my loop in and my mix. My nice grin there, because I really like that mix and that wordplay. I should be interacting with the crowd right now, making sure that people are singing this or doing something, but I think I'm getting ready for the next song. Yep, here it is. Checking for people, don't see anyone, and then finally I check someone who's, you know, who gets it. Yep, she was really feeling it, I remember that. A couple other people start to feel it because their hands went up, so I could see that they were actually on my channel. The one girl I could tell because, you know, I can see the earphones, but there's people in the back who I think were feeling this as well. So I break it out. Again, using that break feature to transition between BPMs is really easy. Typically, I let that go out a little bit longer, but I don't want to lose people, so everything's kind of done a little bit faster here. And when you're watching these videos, you want to, like, you know, kind of keep a mental note of, you know, what things you're doing well, what things you're messing up, so that when you go to practice the next time, you can say, okay, I really need to focus on my slams. I really need to focus on my scratching on my left hand. I want to work on interacting with the crowd and not looking at my laptop so much. Should have probably had a cue point and just jumped this. So now I know to keep updating my library, making sure I have pre-drop cue points for everything. Should be interacting with the crowd here for sure. Yeah, that's really bad because that song has a lot of energy to it, and I need to let people know that they should be going crazy. That was a missed opportunity to really get some people on my side, or at least hype up the people who are listening to me. And actually, I know that was my last song of what I had in my prepared playlist. So everything here on now, 32 minutes in, is freestyle. So I went through, I know I might have skipped a couple songs, but I must have went through 40 to 45 songs in 32 minutes, which is stupid fast. I probably could have let some of those play out longer. But this is a turning point, because now I'm just doing what I would normally do at a silent disco. Sing-alongs. Now I'm choosing songs at this point, so that's what I'm probably putting like maybe 3 or 4 songs in my prepare list on Serato, just so I'm not staring at my laptop too much for these next few sections. Okay, so what I do here, I'm putting some space or some reverb, and I have the low turned up on my cue point, so that's like almost like a kick, like a loud echo kick. And that sounds really nice. Again, I should be pulling like maybe 2 or 3 songs at a time, like during these like drops, and so I know what I'm playing next, and call it the in the whole song. So like the next and then the next song, and that way I only have to pull like maybe 1 or 2 and not look at the laptop too much. Oh, I see what I did here. No. I'm gonna really be dogging myself here. I should be interacting with the crowd more to these sing-alongs. I don't look like I'm having fun. Probably because I'm getting killed by this dude in the red. Sorry, Mom. Like, typically when I play this song, both hands are up and I'm swinging back and forth. One rule of thumb is that whatever you're doing up on stage, the crowd is going to give you about 60% of that, maybe 75 if you have a really solid crowd. So you can see the other dudes getting frustrated by getting the balloons hit on him. That would definitely frustrate me too. So you always want to be at 100%, so you're getting, 60 to 75 back up from your crowd. And I think I noticed that people are actually on my channel, so I start doing my normal stuff. And I should be interacting here, checking to see who's singing. Oh, okay. No, this is legit. I noticed more people switch over to my channel, so I want to get on the mic and say something to them. Especially since I have this long build-up. So I'm switching over to the Silent Disco and then using my headphones as a microphone.
Check, check. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Breakaway. My name is Mike. I go by DJ Access. Appreciate you being on the channel with me. Shout out to all the homies. Y'all know who you are. Here we go.
And boom, right back into mixing. Really happy with how that went. One thing I think one takeaway is I want to be looking at my laptop left, so I think I might create like a playlist. I already have a playlist of bangers, but I might even order them so that at any time I can just kind of pick a point in that playlist and just goes boom, 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 boom. Now, typically I would loop this portion, but I'm not sure if I feel comfortable with the NX1 knowing which button does that MIDI-wise. Yeah, and I didn't. Okay. That's probably the right call. When in doubt, don't do it. So if I wasn't sure that the for loop button was going to do the MIDI on Serato, I probably shouldn't use it. So as we get to the end, major takeaways is I want to be really conscious of how often I'm looking at the laptop. I really want to bring the energy of my performances up. Like, I look kind of lazy with this. No reason to be looking at the laptop here. I should already have the next song picked. I'm like basically on I could be cut at any moment, so I don't even know why I'm adding stuff to my prepare crate. One more reason why I might go into my bangers playlist and actually order it. Like, why am I not hyping up the crowd here? That's a major sing-along. And that drop's pretty heavy, so I should be doing it. Oh, okay, this is a great choice by me. I can almost play this song anywhere and get a good reaction from it. Acappella's one of the best in music, period. And then it's another backspin. And then the instrumental It's Over is fantastic for EDM fans that have been in it for a while. Yeah, so I'm really disappointed with my energy level right now because from what I remember, I was killing it. There's like a good solid group of 20 people who are all on my channel right in front of me here, and then trickling people kind of other places in the audience. Like, I should definitely be interacting more here. Like this, nope, that guy's on the green channel. I forget that I'm at a silent disco. For some reason I cut out the music. Don't recommend that at a silent disco, but at a normal show, that's definitely the way to go. There's some girl belting it out, and I can tell by my smile. I think I remember that. And again, I've prepped for a 45-minute set, and we're at 53 minutes right now, so always have stuff ready to go. Yeah, and this is my last song. So yeah, people know this song for sure. Definitely a good choice. Well, maybe not so much because I know it has some long build-ups here, and I don't jump right to the Show Me Love part, so I'm definitely going to add a cue point if I don't have one already. And I'm pretty sure this guy not this guy, but another dude comes up and cuts me off. And I've already played overtime. It was only supposed to be a 45-minute set, and I've been playing 54 minutes, so I was really respectful about cutting the music off. If you are doing a show and someone's after you and your time is up, and they ask you to, sometimes they'll come up and say, hey, do you want one more song, or is this your last song? If you're at time, shut your music off. It's, you know, that's just common courtesy. Me, as a nice dude, will usually say, like, if they're either approaching time or on time, I'll say, hey, is this your last song? If they tell me no, I have another one, that's why I usually say, like, maybe 2 minutes before my set time, I'll say, is this your last song? So at least they know. And then, you know, if they need to play another song, they can do so for a couple minutes. But if a DJ comes up and your time is up and says, hey, cut the music, you're obligated to do so, in my opinion. And you'll see that in a second here. Even if he's in the middle of one of your favorite acapellas of all time. And you'll see that here. So this is where he says, cut it. And the reason I'm confused right here is because I didn't want music to stop. I wanted him to run his sound into my mixer, so at least music wouldn't stop, because that's devastating to a silent disco, is to have a music stop. Everyone's going to switch off that channel. So I'm kind of being courteous to this dude to try and give him an opportunity to save it. And that's, you're sure? So again, in the middle of Show Me Love, I just cut it off. Just to give you an idea of, like, when someone tells you to cut you off and your set's over, to do so. Thank you for watching. If you thought this was helpful, you want to see more, like the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and as always, peace and practice.